Good morning and thank you for tuning in to another pre-market pulse scan. Today is Monday, January the 30th, 2017, and the time is 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Looking at the overnight market, starting with bonds. Bonds are off about 230 seconds at 150 and 1030 seconds. And looking at the Dow, I do believe the Dow was down almost like 100 points at one point. It's down 61 points now at 19,951. Overnight high was 19,993, and the low was 19,936. Let's see, the emini nasdaq 100 down 16 points at 51.46 half. The high was 51.54 half. The low was 51.40 and a quarter. The emini S&P 500 currently is down 8 points at 21.81 quarter. The high was 22.85 and three quarters. The low 22.79 and a quarter. The Russell is off 8.5 at 13.59. Overnight high was 13.63.60. The low 13.57.20. Looking at the Nikkei, it's off 185 points at 19,315. The high was 19,470. The low 19,300. So we're sitting right there near the lows of the session. Crude oil currently is down 25 cents at $52.92.5. The overnight high was $53.45. The low $52.82.5. The dollar index off 27, make it 26 pips or ticks. It's at par 78.5. The high was 101 and 1.5, and the low was par 14.5. So looking at the euro, it's now off 55 pips at 106.63. The pound off 29 pips at 125.40. And the Aussie is off 6 pips at 75.38. Gold is up $4.60 at 11.95.70. Overnight high was 11.97.90 and the low was 11.90 even. Silver right now is up 11 cents at $17.25. Overnight high was $17.27.5 and the low was $17.08. So, taking a look, excuse me, at where we are, we can see here that in the pre-market conditions, overnight conditions, gold is catching a bid along with silver, while the dollar is also hanging in there, staying above par. It got pretty close when we hit par 14.5, but it's since rallied rather strongly from there. Therefore, I think what's going to happen is I think the dollar is going to continue to move like the bond market, how it's been manipulated by the feds to stay up for as long as it did. The operation is similar in the dollar now, defending that dollar strength. Excuse me. So regardless of what they say with their lips, we have a strong dollar policy right now, and it's in full effect. They will not let it stay below par. Gold is also hanging around that 1190-ish level, trying to get back up to 1200. If it breaks 1200 on a close this week, that will be strong going forward. So it's getting interesting. Even looking at the JNUG in pre-market is also doing rather nicely. JNUG got up to, was at 868. Yeah, 860 was the pre-market high so far, 860. Currently it's trading at 859. So it is doing wonderful right now. Also, the S-Dow was a good call. With the Dow being off as much as it is now, the S-Dow should be able to hold steady and hold above 39. So everything is doing as it should be doing this morning, which is good. That's what you want to see. You want to see, the markets performing the way they should perform. you know, barring any additional Fed manipulation. Right now in pre-market, the S-Dow is at 39.24, which is great. Nice, nice gappage. That's what you want to see. And hopefully, if it back and fills this morning, you want to make sure that it can stay above the 39 level and keep it rocking from there. That's really what this all boils down to. It's 39 being the support. So if we can do that, I think we're good to go. As long as it doesn't dip below then. But I mean, it could, being that gap fillage would take place right around 39. So it's possible we see a little dip, but then the back and fill should hold, especially around the 39, 39.03 support. We should be good. We shouldn't see a close below that on an intraday 4-hour chart. All right, we don't want to see a close on the intraday 4-hour chart on the S-Dow below below that 39 level. Okay, so that's what we're looking at right now. Let's see. What else we want to talk about? Oh, I know. Let's get right into them pulse waves. Let's see what the market is telling us on the sly, per se. Gotta love them pulse waves. Let's talk the book first. All right, looking at JNUG. On the sheet, JNUG is in the Kuma cloud of death from the algorithmic approach. However, we do have a rally alert, and this is on the daily. Okay, it's on the daily chart. We do have a rally alert. And I have to say, I do like that rally alert. Notice the entry price going in for it today too. That's amazing. If it can pop and trigger that today, that would be absolutely awesome. And again, I think the trajectory is going to be a close above $10. $10 being the new support. So as we rock forward, don't know how long it's going to take to build this, but we should be cool. The stop loss, I like the stop loss too. That's a key support level. Just like the 860 is a key support level, and so is 841. So we're going to look for 841 and 860 today. Hopefully 841 can be the new support moving forward. We don't want to see a close on the 4-hour chart after the 9:30 opening bell below that 841. Okay, so that's where we are. And if $8 holds, then we're good to go. Okay, and the JNUG. So we do have a swing trade negative momentum, but the rally alert, I'm thinking, is going to play out more so than the locked-in momentum that we've been seeing for the longest time. I think the support is there. I think the lows are currently in. All right, so that 795 low should hold. That 795 is a key low too, because it's a correlation low from the $8.95 support alert that we got last week. Notice how it's a $1 difference, a $1 move exactly from the 895 alert low that we got. So that 795 is a key level, okay, a key level going forward. And I do not believe it will be revisited. Okay, so moving forward, let's take a look at the S-Dow real quick. All right, S-Dow is still in its downtrend. It's locked in bear market 311 momentum. Okay, so we are locked in, but we also got a rally alert. And as you've seen, the entry price is already triggered in pre-market. So based on the pre-market, we have a gappage in the signal for today. So if you were flat the S-Dow, if you didn't get in the S-Dow last week, I believe it triggered, what, Thursday, Friday? So then this is your second chance to get in there as it approaches trendline resistance. Notice what the trendline resistance is. That's a key level. That's the level that I'm going to be looking to, take some initial profit and or even add to the position. All right. So just some thought processes there. That's kind of our profit target, what we're looking for. So look at that trend line resistance and see what I'm talking about. Okay. Yeah, the 795 is last week's low in the JNUG, and it's a key support. Today's stop loss on the sheet is also a key intraday level. All right, so it's a big deal. All right, so use today's recommended stop. If your current stop is below today's stop on the sheet, you're going to want to tighten that stop up. All right, to equal today's stop on the sheet. If you're already in a little bit more profit, then you can feel free to tighten up your stop even more if you want to. But you're gonna have to wait to the opening bell, see where we go. Reevaluate at 10:30 sharp Eastern Standard Time. You always give the market the first hour of trading. It's a rule of thumb. Even back in the day, in the 90s, I wouldn't trade until after 10:30. I wait for that first hour of trading because after the first hour of trading, the trend has been established. All right, your support or resistance has been established, and it's time at that point the market's going to move in a direction that is established. Okay, let's get into some alerts now. All right, looking at our rally alerts, our key rally alerts for the day. AG has a nice rally alert for today. That should bode well with gold and silver being up. AGQ, obvious there. DGP, again, the gold and silver space. Anything in the gold and silver space is great. Doug has a rally alert. Now, with oil being off about 35 cents, Doug should probably play out today. It's a possibility. If it triggers, though, we have a if Doug triggers, that puts us into a positive pulse wave position, and that's the beginning of a bull run, and we want to ride that for all it's worth. Interesting today that FAZ, ticker FAZ, has a rally alert, and that's the inverse financial sector. Again, you can't have a healthy bull market in the stock market without the financial sector tagging along. So, looking at today's entry price, because of what's happening in the stock market, we could see a sell-off. So we could have a sell-off here, even though our stock runner is looking at the bullish side. Okay, it's looking at the long side. Unless we get a key reversal intraday in the stock market, which has happened many times before, I don't see that playing out. So this is an interesting one. Momentum is still locked in. It's in a bear market, but FAZ does have a rally alert. So are we seeing the lows? The lows in support in FAZ equals a top for the stock market. It's just inverse correlation. All right, JNUG, we already talked about, has a rally alert. NAK, nice rally alert there. It's locked in a bull market. Last week's negative swing Vix in that negative momentum column, I think, set the tone for a nice breakout for today's trading. So NAK is in play. Pretty Ricky is in play. I want to see a breakout of the Kumo cloud here. I think it has a good chance to do that. So Pretty Ricky is definitely in play. SDAO is in play. Let's see. TMF. All right. This is the bull, long bond. All right. The 20-year plus. So if the ZB futures rallies, it's now unchanged. So if it's going to run today, then TMF is going to run with it. So TMF is in play. It's definitely in play. As a matter of fact, while we're on it, let's just pull up the chart. Let's see where we are. Let's see where we are. All right. All right, this one, let's see, the high was 18, the low is 1796. All right, so it's moving in the opposite direction in the pre-market. Opposite direction. We hit 1806. All right, so the high in the pre-market was 1806, low 1797, and we're at the 1806. All right, so interesting right now to see how that's going to move. Let me just see what the volume was last week. All right, this one's kind of thin. It's kind of thin. I see these gaps and stuff in it. It's interesting that I don't see TBT on here, which is more heavily traded. So, all right, let me see. Moving forward, your uranium, your URA has a rally alert and it's locked in bullish, and you have no negative momentum at all. So this one is looking to rock and roll. All right, the China inverse ETF, the FTSE China Yang ticker symbol, is irrelevant because we know that the Chinese markets are closed because Chinese New Year. So that's irrelevant. That's about it. Let me just pull up. I'm just curious. I want to see what the TBT is on here. All right. Okay, TBT has a crash alert on it. Wow. It's in the Kumo cloud of death, so whipsawing around. So features will probably follow suit with that. All right. Okay. So basically, I don't see a lot going on in the bonds then, with that being the case. TLT. Yeah, momentum locked in on the downside, but then we had a positive swing VIX. Yeah, see that if you notice, you guys, this is how these markets work when they're in the Kumo cloud. They just whipsaw around until you get a real breakout. This is what happens. So, as far as I'm concerned, bonds really aren't in play. I don't like it. Um, I just don't like it. So I would avoid that today. That's just me. Last but not least, let's take a look at the weekly chart. Let's see here. Let's take a look at. See this. Let's look at some key rally alerts in other places. Okay, a lot of the gold and silver miners do have rally alerts. There's a plethora of them: gold, silver, rare earths, copper. There's a lot that have rally alerts in it. So there's a lot to choose from on the weekly. Pretty powerful. Let's see here. See what else I got. Anything of note here? Yeah, it's just a lot of mining. A lot of the miners have rally alerts, so this is good. Um, Everything in the gold and silver space and mining space for the week are rally alerts. Even JNUG is a straight up rally alert. I like that. Uh, yep, that's Dow too. So yeah, rally alerts on the daily and the weekly charts in the JNUG and the SDAO, and there's a lot. There's a lot of rally alerts going on here. Even in the energy space, I'm seeing it. So this is going to be an interesting week. Let's see. Looks like shorts in oil for the week are in play. I'm seeing some of the inverse ETFs for oil. First Majestic AG on the weekly also has a rally alert. There's just a plethora of rally alerts on the charts here. Let's see here what else we got. So I asked about AMD. Let's see. AMD. Let's see. On the weekly AMD, yep, we're still in a retracement off the highs in AMD, and we are negative pulse waving. It's getting rather low here too. It's at the $10 mark, so it's at a place where I don't short. So on this one, I would actually be looking at the rally alert on the weekly. I think the weekly is strong and indicative of support. I think with this rally alert in AMD, we should be seeing the lows or the bottom being put in AMD. So that looks to be in play on the long side. All right. So with that said, that's pretty much it. That's all I got so far. So let's see how the markets open and see how they move this week. You should have your tickets in. If you don't, you still have time to put them in, especially if you're trading off the weekly, which I strongly recommend to get in the habit of initiating trades off the weekly. You can still initiate them off the daily too, but the weekly is pretty significant because if anything triggers off of the weekly, it usually signals really large moves in that direction. All right, so I want to encourage everyone with that. Get into the habit of doing that. All right, so with that said, remember bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take whatever you can and give nothing back. And let's have a great trading week. And to everyone else in the trading room, I'll see you later in the trading room. Peace. So not a whole lot to talk about just yet. I'm going to be running some. All right, let's do